Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Milk, eggs, $42. Ma'am, you okay?
Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in now for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes. That's up to $3,500 today. Don't let high prices get you down. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes. So get to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Friday afternoon to you. Take two.
We're here.
Welcome into the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you for the next 2 hours. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. We've got a loaded show for you. We are excited. In about 15 minutes, well, less than.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes or so. Forever Titan, Chris Sanders, who attended the Ohio State. He's going to join us to begin the second hour of the program. Low Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Lorenzo Neal, affectionately known as Low or Low Dog.
Man.
Who's out in San Francisco doing radio, killing it out there.
Is he?
Yeah. Yep.
Good deal.
So he's going to join us. We're going to ask him about Rand Carthon.
Okay.
We're going to hit him on a variety of things. So we're looking forward to talking about
You can talk to Lorenzo Neal about almost anything on the planet.
Yeah, he's a good talker. It's
Without
good that he's
question.
in radio.
Yes.
He's got a lot to say.
Yes, he does. Very good.
So we're excited about that as we sit here on the Friday before the Super Bowl. The calm before the storm.
The last hurrah here.
We're going to lock in our picks today. Give away a few prop bets as free gifts to the people out there. Just our gift from the McFarland Show to you.
Absolutely. Want you to be informed and make sure that you don't lose any money. At least that's what Darren is going to do.
Well, I mean, that's the plan.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, it doesn't always work out that way. You just hope that it does, right? More times than not. That's the plan.
It is the plan.
It is the plan. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to stuff Jim Wyatt, who's out in Arizona.
A little bit,
covering
yeah.
the Super Bowl. He's always out there.
He's been busy out there.
He's been busy talking to a lot of current players, former players.
Veteran.
Doing some mailbag stuff.
Yeah.
And in some stuff that I've been reading, Jim Wyatt, I noticed he said he didn't believe Nate Davis will be back next year. Surprised, not surprised?
Not surprised.
Okay, why?
Only because we're in this era of the new GM. I don't know how anybody can be surprised about anything. None of these guys on this football team are his guys. None of them. He didn't pick them. He didn't draft them. He didn't sign them. They're just here when he got here. So anything that leaves from here on,
you can't be surprised?
I'm not surprised by a single thing. The only thing that would shock me is if Mike Vrabel was dismissed somehow. That's it. Every other player, there's about 3 or 4 guys who I think are probably safe. But outside of that,
3 or 4?
3 to 4.
Okay.
That, a lot of them won't leave because, it's just, they're young players that, haven't really done anything yet or, one way or the other. But there's like 3 to 4 guys to me that are going to be here. The other, 50-some-odd, 40-some-odd guys, wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a ton of turnover because there's no allegiance at all to any of those guys. And this is a result business, and the results last year were not good. So the new GM's been hired to do a job. He's coming in here to do that job. And if the new GM doesn't think that Nate Davis fits in the picture, then goodbye. We wish you well in your future endeavors.
Well, he's a UFA, and so, it makes the decision easy.
Yeah.
If you decide that's not who you want to move forward with. But man, if Ben Jones retires, which I suspect he will.
Okay.
If Taylor Lewan retires.
Okay.
And I suspect he will.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to go and put that out there.
Come on with it.
I suspect he's going to retire.
All right.
Because all this stuff, I just keep hearing people, and it's just quite honestly, I just don't buy it at all.
Okay.
They'd be like,
Yeah,
if Taylor Lewan will come back for a reduced rate, I mean, if he was to play for $2 million, Taylor Lewan ain't coming back to play for $2 million. What planet are you living on? Like, you're in the media. You got to be smarter than that. He ain't coming back. If he'll come back and play for a team-friendly deal, Taylor Lewan ain't coming back to do that stuff.
No.
Taylor Lewan's made $100 million.
No.
And he's had all kinds of injuries.
He has.
Either he's going to get paid or he's going away.
Which he could get paid.
Not
Listen,
here.
and
Not here.
Not here. But
so let's go there.
Go for it.
Let's say Indianapolis. They could use they could use offensive. Houston, Jacksonville. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the division who knows him quite well, right?
Mercy.
They're like, man, we're like one Taylor Lewan, and I know he's got health injuries, but man, if he stays upright and healthy, we're one Taylor Lewan. Man, our offensive line's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Well, what's realistic? Like, what do you think somebody would really pay him? I am curious to hear your number.
Well, let's see.
Just give me a 1-year deal.
I'm just trying to think of what the going rate is now.
Well, the going rate for a left tackle, $14 million.
He's not going to get 14. Somebody might give him 9. Somebody might give him 9, 10 million. He's not going to get 14, depending on the cap situation. Here's what we got to remember
like
about
a
national
one-off deal.
One, maybe two.
Ooh.
One, maybe two.
Okay.
I mean, because here's the deal. This is the National Football League. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
We see it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So it is not surprising whatsoever. We see it every single year. There are players that they cut or that do not sign for big money here. They go elsewhere and they get big dollars, and you say, well, good thing they went there because he was never going to get that around here. Happens every year. So could Taylor Lewan, a Pro Bowl caliber when healthy, left tackle who's a veteran in this league, could you make the argument, if we're in Indianapolis this afternoon instead of beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, and we're talking Colts football, God help us, and we are talking this afternoon about what the Colts can do to improve their situation, you can easily say, we've been watching Taylor Lewan for years, and the holes he's opened up for Derrick Henry, he's got a lot of experience. We've got a guy here that we think is really, really good. We think he's actually almost better than Derrick Henry, truth be told. That's what we think he is. Okay. Well, he's been in Tennessee. Yeah, he's been hurt. Yeah, he's been in Tennessee. Everybody's been hurt in Tennessee.
So maybe if he comes here, he won't be hurt.
Maybe he won't be hurt if he comes here because everybody's been hurt in Tennessee.
Yep.
So just bring him up here. We'll treat him a little better. They put him through the meat grinder in Tennessee. We're not going to do that here.
We feed him better. We got better trainers.
We got better cornbread, beef or whatever. We got the stuff. And so you bring him in, and they go, well, how much do you need, Taylor, to be a beast like you were at Michigan? Oh, I need, good $8-9 million in a nutrition plan. Sold. We're good. Big signing today in the NFL. The Indianapolis Colts signed Tennessee Titans veteran Taylor Lewan. 2-year deal, $9 million.
Or the Texans, if they draft their franchise quarterback, they're like, we can start with. Look, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Happens all the time.
Justin, I'm not disagreeing with that. That's the only way he's going to keep playing.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to squash.
Okay. Well,
it's not going to be here.
He's not coming back here for less money.
That deal isn't happening here.
I know.
It's going to happen elsewhere.
Because we're suckers like that for Pro Bowl players.
For the love of God in this market with the media, please stop saying, if Taylor Lewan would just take a team-friendly deal and just come back and play for like $3 or $4 million a year. He ain't doing that. Stop it. It's a waste of good oxygen. That's good oxygen getting wasted. Stop it. He made $100 million. He's got a successful podcast. If they're going to pay him $3 or $4 million and he's got to pay his agent and after taxes, he ain't playing for that. He's going off into the sunset. See you later. So please stop saying that. He's not going to do that. It's not going to happen on his end, and it's not going to happen here. The only way he's going to keep playing is your scenario plays out. And I believe your scenario could play out.
Yeah.
I do. I suspect.
Because it happens every single year to
time.
somebody.
But I suspect it's also got a real shot that he doesn't get a real legitimate offer, and he's like, peace out.
That can happen too.
See you later.
It could.
It's either peace out or it's your example.
Listen, all it takes is one franchise.
If I
That's
hear
it.
one more person say, if Taylor Watt, I mean, if he'll come back and play cheap, we're wasting good oxygen. Please stop it. Okay? I'm just trying to help everybody. Please stop it. That's not going to happen. That is not in the cards. It's not going to happen. He's either going to get paid somewhere else, or he's going to ride off in the sunset and be a podcast guy.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how it works.
Yeah.
And he'll get paid well on that.
Yeah.
And he won't be hurt. I don't think, unless he falls off the bus.
I mean,
he can fall down the steps of the
Who
bus.
knows?
All right, we'll come back. Forever Titan, Chris Sanders. He went to the Ohio State. He's fast, or at least he was fast. We'll talk to him next on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic is happening on March 15th at the Ridley Sports Complex in Columbia, Tennessee. And this year it's a doubleheader. For nearly a decade, the City of Columbia Parks and Rec Department has showcased the most highly attended women's college softball matchups in the state. The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic kicks off their doubleheader at 1 p.m. with the Bucks from Motlow State taking on the Chargers of Columbia State. Then at 5:30, the Austin Peay Lady Govs battle the Lady Vols of the University of Tennessee. Tickets to the 6th Annual Mid-State Classics are only $10 and are on sale now. Motlow State versus Columbia State. Austin Peay versus Tennessee. Wednesday, March 15th, starting at 1:30 at the Ridley Sports Complex in Columbia, Tennessee. For tickets and information to the 6th Annual Mid-State Classic, log on to columbiatn.com/Mid-State Classic or call 931-388-8119. That's 931-388-8119. The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Slim's Tender Mac Bowls are back. We start with a 3-cheese blend to make our delicious mac and top it with chopped hand-breaded tenders and Colby Jack cheese. Try the Tender Mac Bowl meal or the Buffalo Tender Mac Bowl meal, both served with Texas toast and a medium drink. But hurry, they're only around for a limited time. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Paid for by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
When you picked up your first girl in college or at the bar, what do you do for every girl you meet after that? You do the same thing. You're just like, this works. So Vrabel, he's like, well, we just have to keep trying to get back to this. So it makes sense to me.
That's why every time you go up to a girl's bar, you're just like, please, please, come. Please, please. It just worked that one
The
time.
afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Nashville Predator fans, call now at 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Thank you, Big Voice Guy. Back here live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. By the way, you can watch us every day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We shower, sometimes we shave, and we deodorize. So we try to get spiffed up for you. Like this man. He's probably not even wearing a shirt doing this interview, but nobody can see. He's forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. He went to the Ohio State. I said he was very fast in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fast he is today because my guess is if he ever was in that range that he was in as a track star at Ohio State, he would pull, I'm sure, hammies, quads, about everything else, I think.
I can vouch for the fact that he had on a shirt earlier this morning.
Okay. Well,
because I saw him earlier this morning.
Did he cut off the sleeves?
No, he had sleeves on.
Oh, wow.
Because, he was trying to keep the natives calm.
Well, in fairness, I wanted to watch because you told me yesterday he was coming on, and I wanted to watch. 7:45 is not an egregious time for me to watch, but you knew I've told you about my week. You knew I was exhausted yesterday.
Yes.
I took melatonin last night. And it's
and it was over.
It's 99.
It was over.
See you later. 9 hours later. Chris, what's going on? So I missed it.
Man, what is going on? First of all, can I ask you a question? Would Taylor Lewan come for $2 million? I want you to answer that question.
I think you heard my answer. I really didn't sugarcoat it, did I? There was no room for, what was he really saying? No, it was pretty crystal clear.
Man, how y'all doing, man? It's good to hear from you. Also, I'm mad at you, number one. I called you 5 times yesterday just to see how you were doing, and you never called me back.
First of all, you're on the McFarland show, so you have to specify which McFarland you're talking to.
He can't be mad at me because I don't have his number like that. So it can't be me. And I just saw him, so he ain't mad with me. It's not me.
Exactly. I mean, I just thought we were friends. I mean, we were friends back in the day, and, I call you. You don't call me back. I see how the family's doing. I mean, you don't send me nothing. You don't say hi or nothing.
Oh, you said were, so that's past tense. Did you just go past tense? We were friends?
Yeah.
Is that what you just did?
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
We're not pals anymore.
Okay.
Man.
Well, I need you to answer this so our audience can hear this.
Yes, sir.
Did I, Darren, because you have to specify which McFarland, call you back several times?
You did not call me back at all. I cried for like 22 seconds. 22 seconds.
Liar!
22 seconds.
That is not true.
I called and I called and I called. I mean, I could have had a flat. I could have, needed a haircut. I mean, you didn't call me at all.
You are a man of faith, and your nose just hit Murfreesboro.
He said
that is not true.
He said the truth is
Remember,
not in you.
the truth will set you free, Chris. The truth will set you free.
He did. He called me back.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Then I called him back, and he still didn't. He'd send me a text or nothing. Still love you. You're my pal.
All right. We did play a lot of tag, didn't we? I was out of breath. We played so much fun.
I was
tag.
too.
All right, I don't want to get.
Yes,
we're having fun. We're having fun.
Sure.
I don't want to get you in a bad mood, but I do want to ask you if you've seen this, and you may not have because it just came out.
Okay.
On Sunday night, so it's been 5 days. But have you watched the 30 for 30 Bullies of Baltimore?
Yeah, they dogged the mess out of the Tennessee. Yeah, I'm upset. I mean, I'm throwing
so you have watched
the mic. Yeah, I'm throwing the microwave
Okay.
at the TV. I'm throwing shoes. I'm throwing Tic Tacs. Anything I got my hands on, I'm throwing it. I mean, they literally dogged us. But hey, at the end of the day, they were the best defense that I've ever went against. I mean, you got Ray Lewis. You had guys in the secondary that will run through your lips. So they deserve it. I mean, they did it. They bullied everybody. They were nasty. They had Saragusa. They had guys that were physically intimidating. So yeah, they deserved it.
Well, you guys deserve a lot of credit, too, because as you know, as you watched it, it's 2 hours long. The Titans were the most prominent team in that 30 for 30, okay? Besides the Ravens, which is who it's about, the Titans, there was more emphasis on the Titans than any other team in the league by far.
They were cussing us out and everything.
Man, well,
bad words.
Again, but it says a lot about you guys, Chris.
It does. It really does.
Right? Because their focus was heavy on what you guys were doing.
Yep, and just the individual wars that were going on. You had Ray Lewis going against Eddie George, and they were their best friends off the field. But just watching those cats go at it, I think the rivalry really started. When they came and beat us in 2000. You know, when I think it was Ray Lewis, you know, caught that touchdown caught the interception and took it the distance. And I just think that was when the rivalry started brewing, because we didn't like them, they didn't like us. Ray didn't like Eddie, Eddie didn't like Ray on the field. Now, not off the field, but it was one of those games that you better put your mouth guard in, you better tighten up your helmet, you better wear every pad, because you will get hit square in the nostrils.
So they were the most physical team you ever faced?
They're the second. They're in my opinion, the most physical team that I've ever went against was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it was my rookie season when they had Greg Lloyd and those cats and Carnell Lake. That team was physical. When I say that team was physical, that team was physical. I know the Baltimore Ravens, you know, they say they're the bullies and all that stuff, but I'm gonna tell you something. When you played against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you didn't have to, walk in the locker room and say, "Oh, it's Pittsburgh week." You absolutely knew it, because you better believe there was going to be a war on that game.
Was that the team that played Dallas in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that team.
That game.
That was Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd.
Greg, let me tell you something. Greg Lloyd almost took my spleen out. Seriously. I ran a crossing route my rookie season. I'm thinking I'm cool. Like, I ain't gonna get hit. He hit me square in the mouth. My spleen popped out, and then I'm not gonna fight him because he's a black belt in karate. So I'm in a bad situation. I'm in a bad situation all around.
Just went to the sidelines. You said, you know what?
just walk back.
Let's go on over here.
Yeah, and then I wanted to write him a note and apologize. Like, hey man, I am so sorry. I ran a crossing route. I'll never go in your space again. I'm sorry.
Hey, in all seriousness, he was a bad man. He was a bad man.
Whoa, and his eyes were red, and, you know, I'm telling you, man, I know there's some great linebackers, but that dude right there, the motor that he had, the awful face mask that he had, yeah, he looked like he can
face mask
shoot
was
rocks.
great.
In all seriousness, that 95 Steelers team and that 2000 Ravens, I think it'd be the first team to 6 would win. I mean, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if you could score. There wouldn't be a touchdown, would there?
Nah. You don't even – okay, let me give you a perfect example. That 2000 team, the Ravens, let me tell you how good their defense was. When we played them in the playoff games, we had 479 yards offense against them. But what they did is they created turnovers. And then on offense, they had 76 yards. That means they basically said, you know what, we can win with our defense. We don't even need you, Trent Dilfer. We just got this defense that'll score points. They didn't even score a touchdown on offense. The defense did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And people don't remember in that Super Bowl, Emmitt Smith, the great Emmitt Smith, you know, the leading rusher in NFL history. Bam Morris outrushed him in that game. Emmitt Smith didn't do anything.
Bam Morris.
Emmitt Smith didn't do anything that game. And remember, it was the interceptions, unfortunately, by Neal.
Absolutely.
That did the Steelers in. It wasn't the Cowboys, doing things at will on offense. It wasn't.
Yeah, but that game, I'm telling you, that Pittsburgh, I mean, every time we played against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you look at the games, it wasn't no like 24-0, 34-5, or 34-2. It was 7-3.
Yep.
17-14,
10-7,
14-10,
yep.
3-7. It was a physical game. And I remember one story, I think it was in 1995 or 1996, I can't remember, where we had that big old brawl. This one was the Houston Oilers. When I tell you, I avoid, fights. So I'm watching it and had my popcorn while I was watching. I just moseyed on out so I didn't get fined. It was crazy. Marcus Robinson and Chris Dishman, those guys were crazy.
By the way, Lo Neal is going to join us at 3:00.
Man, that dude, he's one. That's one small guy that has no neck. I love that dude.
You ain't lied though. You not lying.
In all seriousness.
You're not lying.
At fullback, was he not a beast at fullback?
Let me tell you something. One of the nicest, meanest guys you ever play against. And this is how he is. I remember we were playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and one of the linebackers gave a cheap shot on Eddie George, and Eddie George was limping back to the huddle. You know how Lorenzo is. He's a real big guy, no neck, but he had a high voice. He's like, Eddie, it's okay. Just follow me. They're not going to do that again. Ran the same play. Bow, hit the dude in the mouth, touchdown. He runs up to the linebacker. He says, I told you I was going to get you.
Devlin,
yes.
Flag that, okay? Flag that right now. Flag that.
very
That is
physical.
hilarious. Oh my
But
God.
the one thing he was terrible about, his catching ability was awful. It was like catching with two elbows. That's the only bad thing about him. It is the worst.
Catch you with two elbows.
Yeah.
How you do that? You can't.
You can't.
How you do that? You can't.
You can't.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off track, but he was awful at catching. I don't know how he caught the Music City Miracle, the pass. I can't believe he caught it. I can't believe it.
The real miracle is he caught the ball.
The real miracle. That's why it's called the Music City Miracle, because of that guy right there.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Just gotta tell the
okay.
truth.
So, in all seriousness, because you live the life,
yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about, especially when you're Taylor One, you've made like $100 million.
Right.
Like when I was telling Justin off the air, and obviously I took it on the air, like for people to think that he's coming back for the league minimum or some team-friendly deal or play for chump change just to help out the Titans, like give me a break, right? He's not going to do that.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Darren, is if I'm a offensive coordinator, if I'm a general manager, I wouldn't sign him. I wouldn't even give him $2 or $3 million regardless. And I say this in a respectful way. I'm not being disrespectful and I'm not being mean. But to be in this league, you can be a great player, you can be a great tackler, you can be a great wide receiver, but you have to be available. And if you look at all the years, he'll be available for 5 or 6 games, then all of a sudden he's out for 4 or 5 games. So even though he's dominant when he plays, he's unavailable. So if I'm a general manager and I'm a head coach, out of respect, I will go a different direction because he's available, not because of his talent.
Chris, I got to ask you about your experience that so many guys this weekend are experiencing out there in Arizona, and that is the Super Bowl, of course. 2 days before the Super Bowl, how are you feeling? Are you able to sleep at night? Are you so excited?
No.
I mean, how is that period before you play one of the biggest football games of your life?
You know, I think the 2 days before that, you know, you're a little nervous. I don't think it really hits you when you get on the bus and you're actually driving, you know, to the stadium. They're saying this is for real. You know, you're nervous. I can't eat. I mean, I think I lost like 4 pounds. I look like Gary Coleman. So it was kind of tough like that. But actually, when you get to the stadium and it sits in that you're in the Super Bowl, that's when the butterflies are coming in. That's when you're nervous. That's when you're like, this is for real. But once you actually get into the game and you get a tackle or you make a block or you make that first catch, you basically say, okay, this is just another game. It's just Super Bowl attached to it.
Talk to me about the whole experience of the week and meeting all the people. Now, listen, Darren and I were both at the game, okay? I was at the game. Darren was at the game. I know who I saw, but I didn't get to meet anybody. You see people, and you walk past people, was like, was that LL Cool J just now? Man, that was LL Cool J. I mean, it's weird like that.
Awesome.
Super Bowl is weird like that. Who did you meet out there, even though I know you're prepping for a game, but who did you run into out there?
You know, it's so funny. I grew up watching Lynn Swann. And as they're doing, and I met Lynn Swann, but here's the crazy part. I'm like, Lynn Swann, can I get your picture? And this is when, you know, videotaping wasn't good. So I had one of those VHS tape things where you tape. So I had that. So I'm like, can I tape it? Can I? He's like, yeah. I was like, I grew up watching you, and my tape died. So and then, but here's the best part of the whole doggone Super Bowl is I remember I think I saw Sylvester Stallone, but then I saw Tina Turner, and I talked about this earlier. And I saw her coming out the locker room. I said, Miss Turner, I said, you know, you're one of my favorite artists. And she kissed me on the cheek. And I looked at her like, can we just go on and get just married tomorrow? And she said, do you love me? And I was like, no, you know, what's love got to do with it? I mean, that's exactly what I did.
Rim shot.
Oh, my gosh.
There it goes. Exciting times. Life and times with Chris Sanders.
What the hell is happening?
Life and times with Chris Sanders. All right, Chris. Listen, let me ask a couple more questions here.
Sure.
Earlier this summer, I believe, there was this viral moment here locally where somebody really honestly thought that somebody had made up this team that you were a part of, and that team is the Tennessee Oilers. They said, what are you talking about? There's no such thing as the Tennessee Oilers. Y'all made that up. Now, how do you respond to people? Because, Chris, even though you only played for the Titans franchise, you technically played for 3 different teams. You played for the Houston Oilers, the Tennessee Oilers, and then the Tennessee Titans. all within a 6-year period. So how do you respond to people who say, man, what are you the Tennessee Oilers, what is that? That never existed.
I disagree with him. I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's. I mean, I can understand what when they ask those questions and people say that because the name doesn't ring a bell. When you say Houston Oilers, you're like, man, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But when you hear Tennessee Oilers, it's like oil and water. It just doesn't mix. So that's why a lot of people are confused and didn't really understand what we were talking about. But when you say Houston Oilers, they understood. But when they say Tennessee Oilers, you're like, what in Sam E. Hill are you talking about? So I just shake my head and be like, it's the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. And then now they be like, okay, it's the same team.
Okay. So you have to just educate them a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I just like, yeah. Disagree with him.
Just disagree. Earlier this week, your former teammate Eddie George spoke about. He was talking to Uncle Shannon over there, and he was talking about the Steve McNair, and he was talking about the fact that he still dreams about Steve, and he can hear Steve laughing even now.
Yeah.
After all these years. Now I know Eddie and Steve played together long, and so did you.
Yeah.
How often does that still cross your mind about number 9?
He reminds me of some of the stories and some of the the battles that you were in with him. And I'm gonna share one with him. We were playing the Dallas Cowboys, and Steve McNair just ran a play, and all of a sudden one of his fingers were broke. They were pointing at one of his fingers was pointing at himself because it was turning the opposite way. Oh. And we're sitting in a huddle. And Frank Wycheck is like, man, you need to call timeout. He's like, no, I'm good. So now he calls the play, and everybody's not paying attention to the play. They're looking at the finger that looks crazy. It looks like, one of the cats from Addams Family. So we're looking at that, and he goes up to the line of scrimmage, and he goes to the cadence, and he pops it back in. You can see him pop it back in, and then he takes the snap, and he runs a 44-yard touchdown. And I said to myself, what in the Sam E. Hill is this guy? They can tolerate that pain and forget about how he feels to put his team on his back. Those are the kind of stories that I remember about Steve McNair.
Oh boy,
man, tough as nails.
Oh my goodness, man! There's so many different things happen with him, and just to hear Eddie, wax poetic about Steve and the laughter and all that other stuff, it was really kind of a special thing. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is the transition that you have to go through right now, Chris. We're in the off season.
Yeah.
Or we're about to be officially in the offseason. And there's going to be a lot of guys who think they may be coming back to the team they just left, and they don't know it yet, but they're about to move on. So how do you get yourself in the mindset of, after all this time, I've been drafted, I'm playing, and now I'm a free agent? What is that like?
It's tough, and I had to learn that, the hard way when I got released from the Tennessee Titans and went to the Cleveland Browns and came back to the Tennessee Titans. But we always talk about guys being a professional and guys doing the right thing. But this is what I had to do as an individual. I had to take the emotions out of it. Because when you carry those emotions, well, I got drafted in the 3rd round, I led the league in yards per catch, and you did this to me, then now becomes emotional. But I had to sit back and say, you know what? Okay, I'm a salary cap casualty. They need to move on forward. They need to get some money. So I had to handle it in that situation. But if you carry your emotions with it, if you carry those emotions to where they did this to me, I sweat and I did this for them, then now you're going to go to the next team and you're going to carry that bitterness and you're going to get cut again. So that's kind of how I handled it. I just took the emotions out of it.
Chris, our producer, Devlin, here is from Ohio. And
the Ohio State.
Yes, the Ohio State, sir. He's a huge Buckeye fan, and he was. We were talking before the show started about coaches down here in high school football, and the fact that we have NFL players as high school football assistant coaches. Yeah. And Devlin looked at us. He was like, "Yeah, Southern high school football is just different." He's like, it's just different. It's not like this in Ohio. Is that true? Can you talk about just how different it is down here where you have guys like Kevin Mawai, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, as a head coach at a high school?
Man, I think it's really, really cool. And it's funny when you talk about Kevin Mawai because I actually coached with him 2 years. When you love the game and the football's done a lot for you, I think it's our responsibility to pass the torch to these high school kids or even college or even the pro level. Because the thing about it is we have all this knowledge, all this experience, and all these things that we've been through. I think it's our duty to develop these kids. Let me tell you something. When I first retired from the NFL, I did not want to coach. I didn't want to be around it. But I had to understand how our lives impact these kids. We're molding these kids to be our leaders. And I'm going to share this story, and I'll be real quick. But I was coaching at CPA, when I retired. I was retired, and I came back 2 years and coached at CPA. But there was a kid that I coached. His name was Trip Ware. And I'm coaching him in this and that. And he said this. We were at our banquet. He said, "You're the father I've been looking for." I was done.
Mercy.
When he said that, I said, "You know what? I'm gonna dig my feet into this coaching and start developing players and help them become men that they're called to be."
You know that Kevin Mawai guy replaced Trent Dilfer.
I know.
Trent Dilfer's
We
been in the
year.
news a lot this week from the bullies of Baltimore when he accused Greg Williams of stealing his playbook. Your thoughts?
Quit it. He needs to come on, man. He needs to stop that. I mean, it does. I don't think that would ever happen. But that's where, this is just my opinion, and I'll never disrespect another man. But this is where you got to be a professional. When you start putting emotions in, oh, he did this and he did that, then that's where your real character shows. You don't wait 17, 18 years or 19 years, I don't know how long it was, to start saying, okay, he did this, he stole our playbook, he did that. Just say, you know what, we won a championship, we had great players, we had great chemistry, we had great coaches. But when you start saying to other coaches, you took my playbook, you did that, come on, man, it is uncalled for, because now you made it about you as opposed to the team.
22 years ago, to be exact.
Okay, yeah. I went to Ohio State, so I thought it was 18.
Who wins, Chiefs or Eagles?
Looking at the Eagles, I mean, they got the better team. They got Jalen Hurts, they got Sanders, they got Gainwell, they got Brown, they got Smith. But I just think that when you got Mahomes and Kelsey, they just have that it factor. Everybody's talking about what the Eagles are going to do, which they have a potent offense, but it's going to be the Mahomes and Kelsey show. I mean, Kelsey might have about 27 catches when it's done. So even though the Eagles have a better team, I say the Chiefs win 21-17.
Wow. Okay. The under.
The under there.
The under.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21-17.
Chris, really appreciated it, even though you took some shots at me early on. It hurt. It hurt a lot. It hurt me.
You're my friend. Just check on your friend once in a while. Appreciate you.
I've got a lower body injury right now. It's called my groin, where you kicked me. Chris,
do you? Quit playing kickball. Wait a minute.
Thanks as always. Have a great
man,
weekend. Enjoy the
love
game.
you, bro.
All right, we'll
Thank
talk
you,
to you
man.
soon.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Chris.
Chris Sanders. I do love him too, even though we have fun poking at each other. Forever Titan, wide receiver Chris Sanders. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. Lorenzo Neal will kick off the second hour of the show.
Used his voice there, didn't you?
I didn't mean to do that. I'll take a swig of water.
Yeah.
We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everyone knows time is money, so don't wait weeks for the IRS to send out your tax refund. Go to Jackson Hewitt instead for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee tax refund advance loan. With up to $3,500, you could bring home the bacon and bring it home today. Money now instead of later? That's worth its weight in gold. Don't wait weeks for your refund. Go to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Grizz Nation. Make some big Memphis noise and don't miss your Grizzlies tonight at 7 as they battle the Minnesota Timberwolves for their annual HBCU night celebrating Black History Month. Presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. Arrive early as the first 5,000 fans will receive a Grizzlies scarf. Get hyped, get ready for a star-studded show, and secure your tickets by calling 901-888-WHO or shop online at Grizzlies.com. From Middle Tennessee's home for the Memphis Grizzlies, Nashville Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today's going to be mostly sunny, high 56. Partly cloudy tonight, low 30. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 50. Sunshine, maybe a shower for Sunday, the high 54. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
It's a Bill King Show.
In Little League football, they play it off. You can't do it in college football, Bill. You got to come up with a bunch of computers and some BCS cockamamie scheme. My answer was yes. It's unique. Absolutely love it. I go into my garage every day and make sure there are no dust particles on those BCS computers. I do that.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Good times as always with Chris Sanders. Appreciate him joining us.
Absolutely.
Low Neal in the on-deck circle to kick off the second hour. He's ready. He's heard Chris Sanders has said stuff about him on the show, so he's primed and ready to go.
Okay.
Let's go to the phone line. 615-844-5600. Eric, get us started.
Hey, guys. Definitely looking forward to Sunday. I'm going to be at my pastor's house for Super Bowl Sundays, but you don't have to worry. It's usually a good deal because we've had some good Super Bowl parties in the past, and it's a good group of guys love to watch Super Bowl, so there's nothing going to be crazy going on over there, but I'm looking forward to it. And also, it's tough for me as a Cowboys fan to pull for the Eagles, but I am definitely pulling for the Eagles because of A.J. Brown and Brett Kern, guys. I still think Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City has much better shot to get more Super Bowls than the Eagles do. Because the Eagles, after the season's over, I think I mentioned it, guys, they've got 11 free agents, 8 on defense. And I know they're going to try and want to sign some of these key players. We'll have to wait to see what happens. And I heard somebody throw this out there. I don't know if it'll happen. They think if the Eagles win the Super Bowl that Jason Kelsey may retire. So we'll have to see what happens.
How much older is he than Travis?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, I know their mom has been making all around the Super Bowl circuits and everything like that, and on interviewing those shows today, and talking about she's going to wear that jersey that has both their numbers on it and a jacket and stuff like that. So.
She gave him cookies on Monday night during media
chocolate
days.
chip cookies. Yeah. So yeah. Because I guess their favorite, and put a note and a card with it. Although she said, I think Jason probably wouldn't read the card.
Jason is 35 years old.
Yeah. So, if he does win, it wouldn't surprise me that he does retire, but we'll see. But
Travis
guys, I'm
is 33.
Yeah, I thought so. He's a couple years older. Okay.
Yeah. So, guys, well, they had, of course, the NFL Awards show last night, which was great. You know, all the players and stuff that they named, you know, most valuable player and, defensive player of the year, the rookies and all this sort of stuff. And then, of course, they made the Hall of Fame announcement for the 9 players that made the Hall of Fame. Let me say this, guys. I was happy for Chuck Howley, who was a former Dallas Cowboy, only Cowboy that played on the losing Super Bowl team that won the MVP. And, of course, I can't remember his career because I was too young to remember that. But I'm going to harp on it again. The fact that Ed Too Tall Jones is not in the Hall of Fame is just so ridiculous, guys. It just makes me so mad that he's not in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, I don't know what he can do to get in. Because to me, I feel like this. I've heard a lot of people say that Zach Taylor was a borderline Hall of Famer. He got in, and to me, if he gets in, Tall Jones should be a Hall of Fame because I felt like he had a more stellar career than Zach Taylor. That's just my opinion, guys. And I'll say this. I think one of the things, I don't know if this is true or not, that I'd heard for years, that the reason why the Cowboys kind of got punished was because they were known as America's team. Of course, Pittsburgh Steelers were the team of the 70s, but I don't know if that had to do with the Hall of Fame voters or whatever. The players had nothing to do with that, but up until the time that I think the Cowboys have won the Super Bowl 3 times in 4 years, I think the Dallas Cowboys only had like 5 players in the Hall of Fame. Of course, it's gotten better since the 3 Super Bowls in 4 years with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, those guys. But I still think Tall Jones should be in. I mean, you've got Randy White. I think both Cliff Harris and Charlie Walters made the Hall of Fame, and the fact that Tall's not in the Hall of Fame is a joke, guys. And I'll get off. Guys, y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Eric. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Look, we're not going to push back on that. I know you've brought it up many times. And by the way, this was the year he's going to get in. If there was a year to get in, it would have been this year because do you know how many guys were on defense?
Lots.
Yeah.
But there was a backlog.
Yeah.
So, they needed to, address some of those issues there. Next year, the list is already out, and it's interesting. Some of the guys that are popping up, leading the list is Antonio Gates and Julius Peppers will be up for the first year.
Joe Thomas, first ballot.
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm fine with it. I mean, okay, sure. I got nothing. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. So if the class matches up, the amount of people, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's go down to Columbia. Nate is up next. Nate, welcome in.
What's up, guys? So, I've listened to a lot of sport talk throughout the days, and this morning, I thought of a question that, I don't know the answer to it. I don't know if y'all will, but in the day and age of the transfer portal, with players like the caliber of Jalen Hurts, we all know he left Bama to go to Oklahoma. Both schools went to the championship game with Jalen Hurts. Do you think Saban has hard feelings toward Jalen Hurts and wouldn't contact him to give him support through going through the Super Bowl?
No, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
First of all, Jalen left on his own. Wasn't like, he was pushed out. I get it. Tua took his job, but no, I don't. First of all, if you've been around Jalen Hurts or you've heard him talk, he's just not. He's an incredibly likable guy. He's everything you're looking for. That was always my thing. I was like, he's going to wow them at the combine. He's going to wow them in private interviews. I had big question marks coming out of college. Can he make the throws? Can he do more than just run in the NFL? Can he make the throws? But he's going to have all the intangibles you're looking for, like leadership and what you're looking for in makeup of a guy. Jalen Hurts is going to have that. So, no, I can't imagine that little Nicky would have any animosity toward Jalen Hurts at all.
At all. For what?
Now, he may have animosity toward Alabama.
And I guess it could just be who the coach is, because I wonder if it was someone like Lane Kiffin, if that kind of coach would have more animosity, just because they hate the transfer portal and guys are transferring every year, and I don't know. It was just a question I had. So.
Well, yeah, we don't know the answer, but that's our thoughts.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
our
so
opinions.
At all.
I
the coaches understand how the system works at this point.
Yeah. Well, y'all enjoy the Super Bowl, guys.
Yep, you too. Thanks for the call. All right, we'll come back and wrap up the first hour of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
Welcome to Smashville, home of your Nashville Predators. Join us at Bridgestone Arena Monday, February 13th for the Valentine's Day date game and your college night with Austin Peay as your Nashville Predators take on the Arizona Coyotes. Purchase your college night tickets today at NashvillePredators.com/college nights for a Preds and Austin Peay co-branded hat. And don't miss the Thursday and Saturday games against the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. For your tickets, go to NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Let's go, Preds!
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new 2023 Aerojet woods and irons from Cobra Golf. The new Aerojet woods are designed with a unique aerodynamic shape that delivers faster clubhead speeds for longer drives. And the new Aerojet irons are made with hot face technology, so every strike delivers more distance. Elevate your game by swinging into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Cobra woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
The Grizzlies are a fun team. They're a really good team. They're playing extremely well. The Grizzlies have a reputation of getting under a lot of people's skin because they are a cocky, mouthy team. They're good. They back it up.
But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to be the heel of the NBA, and probably they're the heel right now.
And I think they enjoy that role.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Lorenzo Neal will kick off the second hour of the program back here on The McFarland Show. Good stuff so far.
Sure has. Great stuff. Good time.
Seeing a lot of stuff that's coming out of Arizona. Of course, this is the busy day on Radio Row.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hectic. I've done this many times over the years. It's a lot of work. No one's going to feel sorry for you. I get it.
Yeah.
You're covering the Super Bowl. You're on Radio Row. But it's a lot of work. And at times, every year, I would be like, why did I sign up for this? But when it's over, it's gratifying. It really is. Like when it's all
you see all
over,
the people you talk to.
Right. You realize what you did,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, that was like really cool. But there comes a point during the week, like your breaking point, where you're like, why did I sign? Like, I know the drill. Why would I sign up for this again? Why would I agree to do this?
Yeah.
It's too much work.
Deal with the egos and all the other stuff.
Running people down, tracking them down, trying to make it work.
Yeah.
You're dealing with all these handlers.
Oh, yeah.
People that, are they're pumping up. They're repping.
Oh, yeah. They got to rep their
Campbell
thing.
soup
Oh yeah,
or
they gotta get
this or that or what, you know.
But you know that going in. I mean,
I
so you
know,
gotta let
I
them
know.
get the spiel.
But you got to get all the info, right? What
yeah,
are they repping?
yeah.
You know, what they got to talk about. So I heard Matt Hasselbeck I saw him on one of the national shows, and he was, talking about shoulder pads. The new show. The equipment is a big deal.
Sure.
In football, constantly changing and evolving for the better.
Yeah.
To help, but yeah, no,
everybody's got something.
It's a grind. Friday is chaos, but man, you get an opportunity to really. I mean, I've interviewed some really, really cool people over the years.
You get to see football royalty.
Oh man,
right there, up close and in person.
Like when Barry Sanders sits down at your table, and you're sitting there talking one-on-one with Barry Sanders.
Jeez,
like it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. No, it's real. Like the whole experience, and I've full disclosure, only went to one. I only went to the one Titans Super Bowl down there in Atlanta at the old Georgia Dome. But the whole thing about it is, once you get past a certain point, like with the media, once you get into the media area where you get other people walking around, it is truly like I would imagine like being on the red carpet at the Oscars, because random people will just walk by you, like Kevin Green, like Lynn Swann, like LL Cool J. Mm-hmm. They will just walk past you like you're in an airport or something. Like this is not a big deal. And you're just like, who did I just see? Who did I just run into trying to get a drink of water? Who did I see in the bathroom? I mean, it's just a whole week of that. Yep. And, it's really, really an unbelievable kind of experience, and a lot of stories behind the scenes and all that other stuff, too.
And then you get the opportunity sometimes to, interview people in either other sports or other genres like actors, musicians. It's cool.
It's off season for baseball. They haven't gotten going yet, so some of the baseball stars will come by.
Rob
you
Snyder.
Never know.
I'll never forget
actors,
that interview. Like there were tons of people standing around the table when I was interviewing Rob Snyder. He was hilarious. I think he was probably still a little tipsy from the night before.
What?
Yeah, it was an AM.
Rob Snyder?
Yeah, it was an AM interview.
That shocks me, except not really.
But we got through it. It was funny and scary all at the same time.
Yes.
All right, we'll come back. We'll begin the second hour with Low Neal. We do that next here on The McFarland Show.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. An FBI search for possible classified material is underway at the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence. Sources told ABC News it's a consensual search and comes after documents with classified markings were found there last month. Pence has also received a subpoena in a second case by a special counsel investigating former President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election that led to the January 6th attack. ABC's Pierre Thomas has details.
Pence's attorneys have been negotiating with federal prosecutors for months as they sought his testimony. And we don't know if he might try to invoke executive privilege. But clearly this marks an escalation in the special counsel's investigation.
President Biden at the White House meeting with a bipartisan group of governors today. He commended them for working together and says Congress needs to do the same to raise the debt ceiling.
I believe we can be fiscally responsible without threatening our country or dealing with any chaos.
Republican Governor Spencer Cox from Utah was there and vice chair of the National Governors Association. He called the meeting productive.
We talked about the fentanyl crisis, the immigration crisis at the border, and the energy crisis that we've been facing.
The number of people killed in Monday's earthquake is staggering. Nearly 23,000 now in Turkey and Syria. After 5 days of searching, crews are still digging through the rubble for survivors. ABC's Ian Pannell is at a camp for those displaced by the disaster in Adana, Turkey.
Conditions are really hard. We're seeing extended families, sometimes 10 or more people living inside one of these tents. Obviously, they're cold at night. But one woman described the effect in particular on the children. She said, when I put a blanket over my kids at night, they suddenly wake up in shock, thinking it's an earthquake. She said they're totally traumatized by the experience that they've gone through.
The United Nations estimates there are more than 5 million displaced in Turkey and Syria. You're listening to ABC News.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help with all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscom.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour, McFarland Show rolling along here on this Friday afternoon. Another gorgeous day here in Middle Tennessee.
It is unseasonably warm outside.
But that's about to go away.
Next weekend,
A little bit.
Yeah. We got some other stuff coming in the middle of next week first.
Well, it's supposed to get really warm and then
that's
tail
not
off.
that's
right?
not good though.
Yeah.
It's going to get really warm, and what I'm saying is there's a thunderstorm or a severe weather event that's possible for the middle of next week that they're already starting to talk about a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Mid next week.
So we'll see how that all plays out. So we got a lot of stuff to get into as we sit here on the Friday before the Super Bowl. I was trying to think of we're efforting Low Neal, so
no problem.
Don't know if he's in San Fran, if he's in Arizona. Don't know.
And cell phone connections, it could be tough at times.
It's usually you have to plan for this stuff well in advance, going to the Super Bowl. So maybe they thought, hey, we'll be there, right? The 49ers will be there.
Time zone.
Yeah, because he's working in San Francisco.
Time zone issues, yeah.
But
it'll be okay.
I don't know.
You were mentioning in the last hour, Darren, about the Pro Football Hall of Fame being announced and all the defensive players that ended up getting in. And there was quite a few. Rondé Barber was among them, who, to be honest, I was very on the fence about as far as him being a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but obviously a member of the Tampa defense from the 2002 season that won a Super Bowl. So very interesting that he would get in. Zach Thomas, who I thought should have been in a long time ago myself, great linebacker. Darrelle Revis gets in, and that is interesting because he had a string of really great seasons with the Jets, but some people question if he had the long-term ability there, the enough years under him to have a great career. So that's a big question with him. Other people who got in include Don Coryell, who of course was the head coach for the San Diego Chargers with Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow and company, engineered some of those great offenses back in the 1970s and 80s. And then a few other folks. Darren mentioned Joe Thomas, the left tackle for the Cleveland Browns, who played 10 seasons, but they were 10 stellar seasons, and they ended up getting into the Hall of Fame there as well. So, interesting class, a very interesting class.
Well, when you have a nickname attached to you, right? Revis Island.
Yeah.
That always helps.
That helps.
Right? It's promotion.
Yeah.
People know you because everybody knew about Revis Island, right?
Yeah.
So that helps. I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with Darrelle Revis?
No.
Okay.
No.
I can't say I have a problem with any of them, honestly. Rondé Barber is but, I mean, he was a member of a great defense, and there was let's see, there's at least 2 to 3 other Hall of Famers on that same defense. Warren Sapp, John Lynch, and who am I missing? The linebacker for those 2002 Bucks, Derek Brooks.
Derek Brooks.
So he's the 4th member of that defense now to go to the Hall of Fame. That is interesting. They may have more Hall of Famers than the 2000 Ravens did.
You've heard me mention this. Our next guest, I believe, should be in. I don't care what position he played. Yeah,
he's got a case now.
Hey, look, he played it. That position takes up a roster spot. They get paid, and I think he should be in Canton. I'm very biased, but I believe his body of work is 100% good enough. And Lo Neal now joins us here on the program, 95.7 The Game out in San Francisco. He played in the league for a very, very long time. Now he joins us here on the McFarland Show here in Nashville. Lorenzo, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great, guys. How we doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. I truly mean that. Again, fullback's your position doesn't get any love in the league. I think it's wrong, but I think you were a Hall of Fame fullback because you paved the way for a lot of running backs to have a lot of successful years, including our man Eddie here in Nashville.
Well, I thank you so much for the high praise. I really appreciate it. And I know when Ray Guy got in, I thought that opened up the door. You saw now kickers and field goal kickers getting in the Hall of Fame. Now, truly, it's not truly until they let, more of the fullbacks, those type of guys get in. I look at certain guys, and I think it's not just me, but I think a guy by the name of Larry Centers. Caught over 100 passes. Remember in Arizona Cardinals, what Larry Centers meant for the fullback position as far as just a receiving fullback. You look at another guy, you're talking about just a running fullback that should be in. You look at Mike Allstott. You look at what he brought as a physical running type of fullback. He makes a case. Look at Moose Johnson, what he did for Emmett and how what's a lead blocker that he was. So I think that there's guys out there, Tony Richardson, Sam Gash. There's guys that definitely that should be mentioned or talk about Hall of Fame. But in my opinion, guys, without a doubt, there should be a fullback to reach the Hall of Fame, no question.
That O-line gets all the credit, though, in Dallas with Emmitt Smith, Lorenzo, as you well know. Moose Johnson doesn't get talked about. More people know Moose now for his broadcast than they do for his actual play when, he won all those Super Bowls.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. He had those guys there, and you know those offensive line that he had. Let's not be remiss. Those guys exactly. They were definitely road graders and plowers and moving the sticks for him. So Emmett did have an awesome line, but I think Moose he did a hell of a job as well.
So what do we have, Lorenzo? What do we have, Lo and Rand Carthon? Well, who's coming to Nashville to be the new GM?
When you think about Carthon, you think about who he is. His father coached me, believe it or not, when I was with the Saints. Maurice Carthon was a running back. So you look at what he did for San Francisco. I think John Lynch does a great job of bringing in some of these guys. You look at also what Shanahan it is. So you think about Martin. When you think about Carthon, what he is. When you think about Maurice, his father, you know that you're going to get a guy that's disciplined. You're going to get a guy that's going to be committed to winning football games. He's going to try to turn this program around, which I think it already has a good coach. But I think now you're going to get a guy that's in that Bill Parcells tree that is, where his father, that came from that tree. And you're talking about a guy that's kind of in that same type of mold. When you think about your head coach, what he came from, you think about Parcells, you think about the head coach where he played over in New England. So now think about what you got. I think you're going to have a tighter niche organization. And I think what Maurice will do, I think what he's going to do is definitely bring in more talent. And right now, you guys got talent, but I think a position that's going to have to be addressed, that people don't want to talk about it, is probably that position called quarterback.
Yeah. And that everybody wants to know. So let's just go on and ask it. You're out there. I mean, is Trey Lance the guy? I mean, I know the body of work is so small, but do they believe they gave up a lot, as you know, to get him? Is he the guy?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens because, guys, I'm hearing all kinds of things. I've heard Jimmy G you look what happened to the Houston Texans. They bring in another Niner coach. Is Jimmy G going there? We're hearing about, hey, is Trey going to be traded to Tennessee? What's going to happen with the body work? But I'm going to tell you guys right now, in my opinion, now look, this is just me speculation. This is no inside. John Lynch and I are great friends, but he's not telling me this. I don't think Trey Lance is going anywhere. I think when you look at what's going on, when you think about what you had, and, the kid played great, Purdy. I thought Brock Purdy from, Iowa, this guy went out there and balled his butt off. I think he's earned the right to compete. But, guys, this organization can't go with these two guys and think that you're okay right now, especially if a guy's going to have Tommy John surgery on the elbow, a throwing arm. You look at Trey Lance, his body work, like you said, it wasn't more successful than what you saw at a Brock Purdy, but you still have a guy that can play at a high level. So I would be remiss if I don't think that the Niners are going to move away from Trey, and I don't think it would be a wise move to move away because let's face it, guys, you still have Brock Purdy on a rookie deal. This guy's in his first year, so the next 3 years the guy's making peanuts. I think the Niners are going to have to look at it and say, hey, do we give this guy another couple $1 million because of what he did? Because the money that he's making now, he's outplayed that. We all know that.
Yeah, everybody here is excited, and everything you hear about Rand is obviously very positive. He kicked butt in the opening press conference. But I think everybody's excited because of what you've seen working out there and we're seeing from afar. It seems like the 49ers organization has been getting a whole lot right, whether it's through the draft, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through trades. They seem to be making all the right moves, where here, we unfortunately have been talking a lot about some really, really bad draft picks, some really bad free agent signings. And so I think that's also what has people excited. Can he bring some of that knowledge from what the 49ers were doing and bring that here?
And you know what he's going to do, guys? That's a great point. Here's the thing. What people are creatures of habit. You're going to bring in a guy that's already had success. And you know what? You look at the free agents that's on the San Francisco 49ers. How many of those guys are going to go to Tennessee now? Because they're going to be familiar. You look at guys that's in Seattle and think about those free agents. You also look at guys with the Rams. Think about the different individuals that this guy's had opportunity to see up close and personal that's going to reach out, and he's seen them because he's played against them, went against those guys, when you're against the Niners as a GM, as John Lynch's right-hand man. So you're going to have a guy that understands NFC West better than anyone, and so the free agents and the guys that are going to be up, Tennessee's going to have a great shot at getting them.
Do you remember a teammate by the name of Chris Sanders?
Absolutely. What a great guy. Great man, great person.
Well, hold on, Lo. Don't prop him up too much yet. So I want you to hear what he said about you. We'll play it, and then we'll let you respond after that, okay? So here's what Chris Sanders, he was talking about. Well, I'll just let him go. Just let you hear. It's about 30 seconds. At fullback, was he not a beast at fullback?
Let me tell you something. One of the nicest, meanest guys you ever play against. And this is how he is. I remember we were playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and one of the linebackers gave a cheap shot on Eddie George, and Eddie George was limping back to the huddle. You know how Lorenzo is. He's a real big guy, no neck, but he had a high voice. He's like, Eddie, it's okay. Just follow me. They're not going to do that again. Ran the same play. Bow. Hit the dude in the mouth. Touchdown. He runs up to the linebacker. He says, I told you I was going to get you.
What do you think about that, Lo? Do you remember? Do you know what he's talking about?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Chris and those guys, I tell you, they got me fired up. They should love go Blaine, Bishop, Mark Robb, all those guys. But Chris Sanders, man, what a treat to play with. I remember that. That's awesome. Oh, I love that clip.
He in all seriousness, he obviously said a lot of nice things about you because, again, if anybody who's spending time around you, that's what they would say. But we just thought we'd play that for you. We had a little fun and see if you remembered that.
Absolutely, guys. I tell you what, it's always great coming on any Nashville station. I tell you, Tennessee's an awesome place. It's a great place for family, just a good place. And, tell you, you guys been a part of some big moments, and me being a part of the Music City Miracle, and just being on that Titans team for my 2 years, and just the men and the people that I met in that community. It's not the team, it's the people that make up that community. So it's a great place. I appreciate guys when you guys reach out to me to come on and talk some X's and O's. I really enjoy it, and I want nothing but the best for the Titans and the wonderful people of Nashville.
So I got to ask you very quickly, sir, and that is about what a lot of young men in Arizona are about to face coming up here in the next few days. They're about to play one of the biggest football games of their entire lives. How were you leading up to that, a couple days or the days or hours before the Super Bowl?
Well, I tell you, you're excited. You're a grown man playing a kid's game, getting the king's ransom. But all that being said, you're always looking for saying, am I good enough? How do you measure yourself? You look at every great person. They want to know, did they make it to the Super Bowl? Did they win a Super Bowl? Tom Brady's arguably, they say, the greatest now because of all the rings that he has. Yes, it takes teammates or other guys. They helped a part of it. But I'm telling you, your measure. Look at great Eddie George, never won a Super Bowl. Great LaDainian Thompson, Hall of Famer, first ballot, never won a Super Bowl. Look at Dan Fouts. All these great guys never won it. So I'm telling you, you have a Philadelphia team that some of these guys have never won. You look at Kansas City, some of these guys on the team has never won, even though they've gotten one Super Bowl in the last 4 years. This is a team, and both these teams, there's guys on this team that take for granted and understand there's an opportunity that you may not never get back there again. I played for 17 years, 16 credited seasons, and only been to one. So it doesn't matter how good you is, it takes a team around you. So guys are savoring this moment. This Friday's about making sure the dress rehearsal. Friday, 2-minute drill, short yardage, goal line. You get it all in, and it's like, okay, Friday, the hay's in the barn. Because Saturday is just a walk through, and you walk through special teams meeting. I'm telling you, today is the last day of, that, okay, ask all the questions, get it done. After today, guys, the hay's in the barn, the game plan's all in, short yardage, goal line, 2 minutes today, and it's about, honing in. I'm telling you, guys are starting to get those nerves. You're starting to understand you're, 48 hours away from playing in the biggest game, in the biggest stage, and over $20 billion or over $1 billion have bet on this game already. This one of the largest amount of money that's coming in any Super Bowl. So guys understand what's at stake. And I'm telling you, Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, this is a great matchup. I know people, give Philadelphia the edge. I'm not, guys. I look at Philadelphia and I think about the Giants. The Giants are a team that you look at it, they didn't have necessarily a set plan. It was scramble, things happen, broken plays, and they were able to beat Minnesota. So it's a team that came into the playoffs, but were they really a great team? And then you think about who Philadelphia played next, the Niners, who was a great team, but that's like telling you guys, hey, let's race. I'm going to race you from California to Tennessee, but I'm flying in the plane, and you're driving a car, the fastest car in the world. The plane's winning. When the Niners lost their quarterback in the first quarter, first 2 minutes, they didn't have a chance. So I don't think Philadelphia has been game-tested and battle-tested like the Kansas City Chiefs. You look at Jacksonville. They were on a roll. Jacksonville won 7 straight, whatever it might have been. And then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, what type of roll they were on and what type of team they have been. So if you think about battle-tested in the playoffs, I would give Kansas City a huge edge, and that's why I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Kansas City wins this game because I think they've been more battle-tested, and the quarterback has been in this situation before.
Last but not least for me, Lorenzo, and that is we talk a lot about how front offices approach free agency and the draft and things like that, and we always talk about it from the GM's perspective and what would you do and all that kind of stuff. You have played for 7 teams, sir. How did you approach free agency as a player? Did you ever get a couple of phone calls from teams? You said, I'm not asking you to call anybody's name, obviously, Lorenzo. I'm just saying, did you get a phone call from a team and you said, I'm not going out there, I'm not playing for them? How did you approach free agency as a player?
Yeah, for me, guys, it's about where's the most opportunity. If you go to a place and you know that, hey, look, they got 15 great receivers. If you're coming up with Jerry Rice, why would you go there to be the number 2 or 3 or 4? So if you're a free agent, you have to understand where you're at. I had an opportunity, guys, believe it or not, growing up, my favorite team in the world when I was a kid, because I'm from California, was the Chargers. Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Chuck Muncie, Charlie Joyner, Wes Chandler. I mean, I absolutely loved Don Coryell football, loved it. And when I got drafted to the Saints and playing Tennessee, playing at different places, I had an opportunity when I was a free agent. left the Saints, and I had a chance to go ahead between the Jets, between the Chargers, and I was thinking about going to the Chargers. Natron Mean was the back there, but they only ran 10% of two backs, less than 10%, like 5. So trust me. So when I looked at the situation, it was like my heart was like, man, I get to live my childhood dream. Let me go to the Chargers. But it wasn't the right time. So, guys, I foregone more money. I could have went to the Chargers, but I said, no, I'm not going there. I wanted to go to a team, so I went to the Jets where they ran more two-back, and I understood I was going to have more opportunity, and it worked out well for me. So when you're a free agent, you can't just look at, oh, my goodness, we're more money and all this. You got to look at the setting for you. You have to take into account and consideration, is this best for me as a player and my opportunity for me and my family?
Great story. Don Coryell, by the way, down going to Canton.
Going to Canton.
Good timing on that story. I'd be remiss if we didn't finish up, Lorenzo, with asking you. We got into this hot and heavy with Chris Sanders, but I'm not trying to bring this down, but you were on that team too, and I just got to get you. Have you seen the 30 for 30 Bullies of Baltimore?
No.
Sorry, I know.
No.
Okay. I know.
I said no.
You know what, guys, on that particular, here's the deal. It comes down to, and we know, and let's be real, Baltimore Ravens, we knew that was going to be the Super Bowl. Whoever won that game was going to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And here's the thing. It wasn't about them outplaying us. Trent Dilfer didn't even have 100 yards throwing the ball. He had Shannon Sharp caught that one tight end play and had that big, huge play, and that changed the game. But let's be real, what happened. If Aldo Greco misses a 30-yard chip-yard field goal that usually makes, that's a 10-point swing. We got field goal blocked. So if you think about what happened, if and Al was Mr. Consistent, those things doesn't happen in that game, and it happened. And you know what? Baltimore Ravens, are we talking about Baltimore the same way? And if it comes down to a guy who's been Mr. Reliable in kicks, if that doesn't happen, we win that game, guys.
No, you're 100%. Both of us have covered. We're covering you, so trust me. We know and agree.
We were both at the game.
Yeah, we were at the game, so we got it. I asked Chris. I asked Chris if that was the best defense he ever faced as a player. He said the 95 Steelers were. What would be your answer? You played for a long time and you saw a lot of nasty defenses. What was the toughest defense you ever came up against?
Yeah, the Steelers, man, those guys, I'm telling you, playing against the Steelers, when you think about who they had, playing against 99 and Green and all the guys that they've had, I played against some good defenses. Baltimore, even though they beat us, it was a good defense, guys. It was a good defense. It was a great defense. And so statistically, you would have to say that was one of the best defense. But I also played in Tampa Bay where you had Brooks and Hardware, Hardy Nickerson, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber, John Lynch. I'm telling you, now John Lynch wasn't a ball hog like Ed Reed, let's be honest. But let me tell you something, Ed Reed couldn't hit like John Lynch. So what do you take? So, of course, Ed Reed was game changer, and I'm not trying to, but I think that you can make a case that I played on some pretty good teams and some pretty good defense. And I'm going to tell you right now, for 1 year, you just look at it. Now, if you talk about consistency, you would talk about Baltimore. But let me tell you something. You get that Tennessee Titans defense, and you compare it stat-wise, it was whatever those 2 years. It was hand in hand. It wasn't like some onslaught for Baltimore. The Freak and the players that the Titans had too. So yes, I would give the edge probably to Baltimore if you're talking about just with the consistency, how long those guys were together. But you guys asked me 52. I had 41 reasons why 52 didn't want none of this. Ray knew I had his number 2 now.
I love it. I love it.
You can't get along, guys. Well, you might as well get it on. Right now, guys. And on Sunday, you guys know I came to do 2 things on Sunday, and that was chew bubblegum and kick ass. And on Sundays, I was fresh out of bubblegum.
Perfect way to end it.
Woo!
Low, always. I love it. Man, I'm ready to run through the wall.
Oh, my gosh. As long as Lorenzo now on the other side, I'm good.
He's got to lead the way.
I can run through. Lorenzo first, then I'm right behind.
We got to do it again, guys. We'll do it again.
Hey, thanks for doing
Lorenzo.
this. It's always a pleasure. Lorenzo Neal, man. What a treat.
52 got 41 reasons. Wow.
What a treat. 95-7 the game out in San Francisco.
Gosh.
We'll come back. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600. Man, this Friday show rolling along. McFarland Show,
Jeez.
Nashville Sports Radio.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast-iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And, of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention! If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-240-4917 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-240-4917. That's 800-240-4917. Again, 800-240-4917.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Staunch Titans fan, season ticket holder. Tim Kelly is OC. Your reaction?
Oh, I hate that so much. I hate that so. Well, all right. Some more tight end bubble screens, right? This sucks, man. Yeah, this is live reaction, dude. I had no idea. Yeah, this is trash, man. I hate it.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
Man, great stories.
Oh, man.
Chris Sanders, Lorenzo Neal. Good stuff.
Really is.
Should make the final push here in the final 30 minutes. Pretty easy. A lot of fun. All right, we got plenty of time to take your phone calls as well. 615-844-5600. We're live here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio here on this Friday afternoon. You can watch us every day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's go over to Antioch. Bob is standing by. Bob, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. Hopefully we won't have to worry about this, but what do you think will happen or would happen if the Predators lose tomorrow and Monday against Arizona? Do you think that would cause any sort of movements over there? What do you think? Hopefully they'll get the 4 points, but worst case scenario.
Well, obviously that would not be good considering the start. Tuesday night was not a good game. I was there. Got off to a great start, and after the Duchesne goal, unfortunately, Vegas dominated the rest of the game. And that was about 50, that's about 54 minutes they dominated. So, is Philadelphia having a great year? No, they're not having a great year. Can you win that game? Sure. Should you win that game or at least come away with a point? Yeah, you should. And then Monday night against Arizona, you're honoring PK Subban. Bottom line is Arizona at home is a team you have to find a way to get 2 points, period. Bottom line. You have to.
Bob, I'm curious, what kind of change are you hinting towards here, sir? I just want to be clear about what we're speaking of.
Something drastic, like, coaching. I don't think it'll be GM. And I want to emphasize, I don't necessarily think, I'm not necessarily in favor of either one of those moves, but, I just, with so much restlessness among the fan base, whatnot.
It's a fair question, Bob.
It is.
You don't have to be rooting for it to be you're a knowledgeable sports fan. You know how this works. I mean, look, it's a results business, and if you're not getting the results, especially over a certain period of time, I mean, that's just how it works in professional sports. So your question is more than fair. And you're right, the fan base is restless. It is.
And have you looked at the schedule after these next two games?
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Oh, by the way, the Boston Bruins are after Arizona. They're historically good this year.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't be scared of the competition. And I'm not saying they're scared. I understand, but the schedule. These are other professional hockey teams, and if you have one as well, you got to go play these guys. I mean, it's been 25 years. We got to. You want this team to win a cup at some point. They got to go compete against the other best teams in the National Hockey League one way or the other. So, no, they can't play cupcakes all the way into the playoffs. They're going to have to go beat some folks. So,
I agree.
I say bring them on. Honestly, bring them because you want to find out what you got. And if what you got isn't good enough, you might as well find out now so you can make the appropriate changes coming up here in the offseason. I, for one, Bob, and again, I'm not as deep into this as Darren is, obviously, but as a Nashvilleian, as someone who's also watched this team for 25 years, I don't see how removing the coach at this point in the season is going to help you. If anything, it just seems like a sacrifice to the fans. And, do you really want to go that route? I mean, is that how you really want to run the organization where you're sacrificing your head coach to the fans because they're restless? I don't know about that, sir.
Oh, I completely agree with you on that. If they do stumble these games, then that makes the ones after that really, I don't know, that you think that puts them in a fragile mindset going into those, games?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got one more question. When is the trade deadline? March the 3rd?
It is.
Yes.
Yep.
So how close do you think that they have to be if they're not in the playoffs? How close do you think they have to be to not be sellers? Do you think they have to be about where they are now, or do you think
it's a big question, Bob? We've been asking that question, Bob, for about a month, trying to figure it out.
Here's the point where in trying to figure out what the deadline is going to be. Like, obviously, huge trade yesterday with Tarasenko going to the Rangers. So clearly, I think St. Louis is punting on this season. What would you sell? I mean, what realistically?
That's right.
That's the thing, right? What are you realistically going to sell?
Maybe, and I'm not for this. Maybe Ekholm. His name is always thrown out there. But because of those long-term contracts, there's not much you can move.
Yeah. A lot of teams are up against the cap. They don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to money. And so a lot of teams who would love to make a move don't have the cap space to make a trade for somebody who's got a sizable contract.
And I'm sure you've seen those on some of those posts that some people say, hey, they need to trade Saros. That would be the last thing I would do.
No, it's not happening. Not happening.
Be the last
waste of time.
Let's hope they get 4 and we don't have to worry about it.
Yep, that's right, Bob. Thank you for the phone call as always. Yeah, talking about trading Saros is just, again, wasted oxygen.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
We're wasting good oxygen. That's not happening.
No.
It's not happening. Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, you are up next. Welcome in.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good
Darren,
afternoon.
you remember in Trading Places, you and Justin, when they were conned at the very end, and Mortimer starts hollering, "Sell, sell, sell."
Yes.
That's what the Preds are going to be doing when it gets near that deadline.
Oh boy.
Well, let's hope not. But
could happen.
Look, they got some tough games, so it's going to be it's not going to be tiptoeing through the tulips to the trade deadline.
That's true. You're right about that. Guys, 2 great interviews with Chris and Low Daddy. Little story I want to tell you about Low Daddy. I was coming home one day from work. At the time, I was driving a Trans Am. I come up on this sports car going down 65 South, and the license plate read Low Daddy. Well, I knew who he was. We all knew who he was. I pulled up the side and tried to get him. Did he want to test it down the interstate? He just laughed. He said, "No." I said, "Were you too tired for practice?" And he just shook his head, yes.
That's funny.
That was I tell you what, he was a good guy.
He is. He's a great guy.
I talked to him one time, and you feel like you've known him and he's known you for most of his life. Great guy. Great guy.
We talked about it, Justin, about me stringing at the time, and if they won, I go to the winning locker room. Low Daddy was one of my go-to guys.
Oh yeah.
Because he was
was
great about doing
that.
Right
there.
Yep.
Guys, I'm going to touch on this and I'll get off of here. A week ago, we saw where the merge or the addition of Oklahoma and Texas wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
going to be delayed, going to come. And now we have $100 million reasons why they're coming quicker than anticipated. And I've just got to believe that the SEC want them as bad as they want them, as quick as they can get them. I believe the SEC had to pay some of that money. I know Oklahoma's got it. I know Texas has got it. But I got to believe the SEC, knowing that those two are going to bring back either 70 or 80 million plus the numbers I've seen last year or so, that don't tell me that I don't think that they didn't ante up something to want them to come back, especially after just yesterday. Was it yesterday, Darren, that the SEC is paying out right at $50 million per school? Did y'all see that?
$50 million. Let's see. Greg Sankey.
$49.5 million.
Yesterday.
Combined $100 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Announced that $721.8 million was the revenue divided up among 14 schools for the fiscal year of 2021-22.
And
Hello.
When Texas come in, bringing their TV station.
Next thing it'll be $1 billion, right?
Easily.
You're right about that, buddy. You're right.
Easily.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. One last thing. Go Chiefs.
Oh,
Go
okay.
Chiefs.
All right.
There's
it.
Tony's pick.
I like it. $721.8 million is what they divvied up.
It's a business, man.
That's a whole lot of dough.
It is.
And when Oklahoma and Texas gets here, it's going to grow. That dough is going to grow.
That dough is going to grow quite a bit. It's gonna bake, and that dough's going to rise. It's just what it is.
Let's go to Frank in Smyrna, listening on 107.9. Frank, what's up?
Hi, guys. Long time no talk.
Yes,
How we
sir.
doing?
Welcome back to Smyrna.
Yeah, I would. It's good to be back home and see my friends, and it's going to be great to get back to Bridgestone Arena and see some Predators games. Even though, oh goodness, we're not going to talk about Tuesday night. That was pitiful. Just good to get back here. Weather, well, it's not as cold as I feared anyway here. So we'll just go from that. Guys, I can't begin to tell you how good it was to see Vanderbilt finally, and I mean the University of Tennessee in men's basketball the other night. You guys probably realize it had been
since 2017 in Knoxville. The last time we even beat them. And, I, for one, was a long-time Vandy fan who's not used to seeing the program that the shape it's been in the last 6 years. It's just a huge relief. There was no raucous celebration in my condo in Siesta Key, Florida the other night. I just gave my wife a hug and said, thank God they finally beat them, and I don't have to hear from my Vol friends about how they owed us in men's basketball anymore. The win and losing streak's over. It's now a one-game winning streak. So that's what I got there. Now, Vanderbilt, they got a long way to go. I'm proud of how far they've come, and Liam Robbins is a difference maker, but what could be said? Tennessee gave that game to us. I'll forever wonder how the Lawrence kid got so wide open in the corner down there. Darren, you'd have hit that shot. Justin, I know you'd have hit that shot, and guess what? I'd have hit the shot too. That's how wide open he was. It was Memorial Gym magic from the 80s and 90s, and anybody that's lived here a long time knows what I'm talking about.
And that play was drawn up too, and it worked.
Yes.
Yeah, the Stackhouse. I mean, I give you credit for that. They've come a long way. I mean, they've got some good wins and few bad losses, and I don't know. They're a whole lot better. That's all I can ask as a longtime fan. Somebody grew up on Vanderbilt basketball because, let's just face it, that's all we had here until the late 90s. That's all we had. So
that's right.
But hopefully the Preds will get it going. That's a brutal schedule they got coming up. There's no breaks really, no rest for the weary. I will be interested to see what happens at the trade deadline. I was shocked to see the Blues trade Tarasenko. What? I mean, maybe just down there in Florida, I'm out of touch. But why? Are the Blues bailing on the season? I find that hard to believe.
Yep, no, they are.
But
that's what it signifies. And in fairness, Frank, the Tarasenko rumors have been swirling for a good while. Like this is no secret. Okay. Yeah, this stuff has been out there. They just haven't pulled the trigger, and because they kept playing well. And I've been writing them off for the last 2 seasons, and they kept having amazing regular seasons, and so they wouldn't trade him. But this year, obviously, it's not going their way. I think they sit 6th in the Central. So they were like, okay, well, looks like we're not going to have a run in us, so maybe now it's time to make that move.
Yeah, I really haven't. I got to admit, I know the Preds are about 6 points out of the final playoff spot. This is the time of year I start to really pay attention to the hockey standings, just to be honest, as a fan from day one of the Preds. I've figured out when it's time to worry about standings and when it isn't. And we're getting to that time. Trade deadline's on my birthday. Maybe David Poyle will give me a nice present and get the missing piece to the puzzle, so to speak, and we'll make the playoffs and get on a run or something like we did in 2017. I mean, I looked no further than that year thinking, okay, we're in. I don't know how long we're going to stay, but let's see what happens. And next thing I know, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm standing there with my eyes big as saucers. I've never seen anything like that before. So I'm like, if it can happen then, it can happen now. So
that's the least they can do on your birthday, Frank. That's the least they can do on your birthday.
Yeah, that's the eternal optimist.
Yeah.
Diehard fan in me. And guys, I hope I see you both, or either are you going to any of the Preds games next week?
Yep. Hope to run into you, Frank.
Thanks,
you.
Frank.
All right, yeah. Hope I'll run into you guys. It would be great. All pleasure, gentlemen. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you as always. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Hey, it's a leap year, right?
No, the next leap year isn't until 2024.
Nope. It's this year. I can prove it. Here, play this new instant game from the Tennessee Lottery.
Okay. Woohoo! I won!
See what you did there?
I jumped up and down?
No, that was a leap.
Don't miss your chance to jump for joy this February with our newest instant games. You could win up to $5 million. The Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
And now, some big news from WINN. The new February instant games from the Tennessee Lottery have arrived. Now, for some bigger news, there are 4 new exciting games to choose from. And now, for our biggest news yet, You could win a top prize of $5 million.
Make a break for fun today with February Instant Games, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
As a professional realtor in Nashville for more than 40 years, Richard Courtney is one of the city's top-ranked real estate brokers. He's also the author of 2 books and the real estate columnist for the Nashville Ledger. What does all of this mean to you as a home buyer or seller? Expert knowledge, guidance, and trust. Give Richard Courtney a call today at 615-300-8189. That's 615-300-8189 or online at richardcourtney.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Howdy, folks. I'm back to remind you about the best steakhouse in Music City, Bob's Steak and Chop House. The only place in Middle Tennessee to get A5 Wagyu steaks cooked to perfection. And when that special day rolls around to treat that special someone, make your reservation now at Bob's Steak and Chop House. From petite fillets to massive tomahawk ribeyes. When somebody asks where's the beef, you tell them Bob's Steak and Chop House. Make your Valentine's Day reservations now and treat the best in your life with the best in Nashville. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
The Jim Rome Show.
I get a lot of vacation. I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. And by the way, I could because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Speaking of the Predators on that front, a prospect that I'm really high on. I really, really like him. His game. But this is the image he's had. He's one of those disturbers.
Okay.
He's a guy that, is not afraid to mix it up and get in your grill and get under your skin type of guy. Right?
Okay. He's not
like Brad Marchand.
He's not an enforcer.
No.
He's
he's a talented player, but also a guy that's not afraid to constantly poke and prod.
I understand.
Okay. At least that's the book on him coming out when the Predators drafted him.
Okay.
But I don't know if people have seen this or not, but Zachary LaRue is his name. And he has been suspended indefinitely in the Quebec Junior League. The disciplinary committee will take the weekend to review the evidence and announce its decision at a later date. But for now, he is suspended indefinitely. And the reports are out there. It's allegedly that there was an altercation with a 16-year-old fan after a game the other day.
Okay.
So that's the allegation. That's the allegation.
16.
Yep.
Not good.
So just wanted to pass that along. Let's go up to Hendersonville. Bill is standing by. Bill, what's up?
Hey, fellas. Wanted to take a moment and ask you guys something really quick. Since WNSR 560 95.9 has been kind of our home for the Atlanta Braves here locally, what are they going to do in the booth on the TV side since Kerry has gone to St. Louis?
It's a great question. I don't know. Have they announced?
I have not heard a
if
word.
They have, I haven't seen it.
Nope.
Bill, we know that Chip went to St. Louis, as you said, to be the guy doing television for the Cardinals moving forward, play-by-play.
Right.
So I don't know.
We were informed of that.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have not seen what the Braves are going to do.
Okay. Well, as soon as, I guess, if anything pops up, let us know.
I'll tell you what
you guys
we'll do.
have a great weekend.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Bill. We'll go down to Atlanta next week, and we'll get on Chris Domino, who does their pre and post.
He will know. If
I
anybody
you,
will know, he will
know. So we'll ask him, okay?
Cool. I'll try to listen. I'll try to get that and listen to you guys then.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
It's a good question.
Yeah. Maybe Mike in Melrose knows.
He might.
He's up next. What's up?
Well, I have heard a rumor that a George Plaster has put his name in the running. I'm sure he would be his dream job, I believe.
Oh, I'm sure his name is probably – I'm sure he's put his name in the running, yes. But I haven't heard if he's gotten it.
Slight correction to what Frank said about Vanderbilt basketball being the only thing we had, which I was there many of those games. But and I got about 20, 25 scrapbooks right behind me right now. We had the Nashville Sound since '78, and they gave us a lot of great players, a couple championships, a lot of memories at Oak Greer Stadium.
I'm being told through a text from a diehard Braves fan, buddy of mine, who says Tom Hart, which that does make sense, or Ben Ingram will probably take over the Braves TV broadcast. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Hart doesn't get it.
I know Tom Hart. I don't know Ben Ingram.
He's from Atlanta, and he lives in Atlanta. So,
okay.
And Tom Hart used to do stuff, I think, before all the SEC Network and ESPN stuff.
I've heard Tom Hart and his work. I'm not sure with Ben Ingram.
So I wouldn't be – I don't know anything about him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Hart isn't right in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
So.
And Mike, yes, I've been to Greer Stadium many times during the especially early 90s when we moved here and had a lot of great times and great nights there. So you're right. We didn't have a professional baseball team here on the minor league level with the Sounds, and it brought a lot of major leaguers through, and it was a great and fun time for sure.
Yeah, and there was some guy that played here named Mahomes. I think maybe you've heard of his son.
Yeah, because you're saying his dad. So his dad did play here.
Yeah, and I think it was with the Sounds. If not, it was when we had the Express. But I think I've seen a baseball
Express
card when he was with the Sounds. Hey, last thing, what's the update on how Aaron Rodgers is doing in his dark out retreat?
Well, I don't know. He hasn't let us know anything because it's dark.
It's dark.
He keeps missing the send button.
It's dark. He'll let us know when the light comes.
Are they going to be waiting around to see if he sees his shadow or not?
They might be.
Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll step away real quick, come back and wrap up the week and Friday's edition of The McFarland Show next.
If you need a staycation or planning a trip to Music City, stay at Bento Living Chestnut Hill. Voted the best boutique hotel in the city by the Nashville Scene. Bento Living is located on the edge of bustling downtown and boasts on-site dining, shopping, live entertainment on the rooftop, and free fitness classes. Come experience Nashville like a local. Visit BentoChestnutHill.com to book your Music City vacation today. The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic is happening on March 15th at the Ridley Sports Complex in Columbia, Tennessee. And this year it's a doubleheader. For nearly a decade, the City of Columbia Parks and Rec Department has showcased the most highly attended women's college softball matchups in the state. The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic kicks off their doubleheader at 1 p.m. with the Bucks from Motlow State taking on the Chargers of Columbia State. Then at 5:30, the Austin Peay Lady Govs battle the Lady Vols of the University of Tennessee. Tickets to the 6th Annual Mid-State Classics are only $10 and are on sale now. Motlow State versus Columbia State. Austin Peay versus Tennessee. Wednesday, March 15th, starting at 1:30 at the Ridley Sports Complex in Columbia, Tennessee. For tickets and information to the 6th Annual Mid-State Classic, log on to columbiatn.com/Mid-State Classic or call 931-388-8119. That's 931-388-8119. The 6th Annual Mid-State Classic.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Welcome to Smashville, home of your Nashville Predators. Join us at Bridgestone Arena Monday, February 13th for the Valentine's Day date game and your college night with Austin Peay as your Nashville Predators take on the Arizona Coyotes. Purchase your college night tickets today at NashvillePredators.com/college nights for a Preds and Austin Peay co-branded hat. And don't miss the Thursday and Saturday games against the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. For your tickets, go to NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Let's go, Preds!
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
I'm not saying like Derrick Henry's going to be bad. I just don't think he's going to be able to tote the rock 330 times in a season. He did lose a half step. He was getting caught in that second level. And you saw the fumbling. If that's what their plan is, we're just going to go in again on Derrick Henry and figure this out. It just seems like the definition of insanity to me.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Over 50 years of Nashville sports coverage. The McFarland Show. Wow, you guys are old.
Well,
old but spry, sir. Old but spry.
We're not older than the Super Bowl.
No, we're not.
This is Super Bowl 57, so we're not that old.
And everybody's watching that.
So, there. All right, who you got?
Chiefs.
You're going Chiefs. Nothing shit. You didn't wake up and like, oh my gosh.
Nope.
Epiphany, right?
Nope.
Like, no, it's Philly.
Nope.
Okay. So you didn't see like the green on the Bat Building this morning going to Fox 17, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the Eagles.
Have not changed my mind.
I am going to go. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but I'm going to be. I think the Eagles are going to win. I do.
Okay.
I think they're going to win. I think they've been the best team all year, and I think they're going to prove it. Although I did think that was it Chris or Lorenzo? Who brought
Lorenzo.
up? Lorenzo, yeah. Kansas City has had the tougher schedule.
He almost said exactly what I said.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Eagles. Remember, first time out. If you bet a prop, take the Chiefs. First time out, take the Chiefs. 15 of 19 times this year they called the first time out. Philadelphia only did it 7 of 19. That'll do it for our show. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll have tons of things to discuss on Monday. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned. Afternoon Stretch is next.